What's up, pageant patrons? This is Isaac. And now that Miss Earth 2023 is over, I kind of wanted to address something that I saw in my comments. It has been getting a lot of discussion, so let's just go ahead and let's just tackle it head on. And it is that the Philippines should boycott Miss Universe 2024 over the disrespect that Michelle Dee received at the hands of the Thai owner. At first, I was like, yeah, maybe that's a good thing. But then again, I don't think so. And here's the reason why. All of the Filipinos that I know, they don't back away from a challenge. And to me, if you don't send anybody, you're just saying, oh, you won. And so I really can't see I really can't see anyone doing that. The next thing is there's a lot of money to be made at that pageant. There is a lot of money. So I really can't see why the Philippines would do that. Also, I may have mentioned it already, but when other countries send their contestants to your country, that means you're doing something right. And so Philippines is known as a powerhouse country. So again, I really can't see how the Philippines can avoid not sending someone to the pageant. I will say though that whoever they send will have to be as good as Michelle Dee. They're gonna have to, I just call it grace under fire. So it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter the disrespect that you believe that you have received. You are gonna have to be able to handle it very, very cautiously, carefully, but also get your point across that that type of disrespect is not going to be accepted. So first of all, Michelle Dee, she is just going to be hard to replace. So whoever her successor is, they will have a big task ahead of them. But I already know that the machine in place in the Philippines, you know, the training that goes along, I think they can do that. So we have two people, I kind of have two people in mind, at least in my comments, kind of compare and contrast the two, is Janas Answer and Pauline Answer. And both of them, I have a high respect for both of them. So I think, well, let's just take a quick look here. In the comments, let me know what you guys think. So here we go. As you well know, the main thing that I like to look at is the Q&A. But before I get to the Q&A, as you know, I got my notes here. The pasarela, okay, that can be trained. You know, each one has their own pasarela, and if it's not right, it is something that their trainers will be able to do. Also, the styling is going to be on point, but it has to be authentic to each individual person. Doesn't matter whether it's Janas Answer or Pauline Answer, but their styling is going to have to be on point, and it's going to have to make a statement. I would probably say that about any contestant. But here's the thing for me that is probably going to separate them. So what I want to take a look at real quick. Now, let's take a look at Janas Answer. And for her, the question, it was a tough question. There's absolutely no way around it. This was a tough question. And the question was, an official at a recent climate conference was quoted as saying there is no science behind coals for the phase out of fossil fuels. Do you agree with this? Why or why not? This is a very scientific question, and it was the guy that made that. He is the COP28 Al-Jabar. He is the president of that committee, but he is also the CEO of the United Arab Emirates, the state-owned oil company. So for him to make that kind of a statement, well, he's the head of an oil company, so I understand why he would say that, but for a contestant to come up with an answer, that it is a tough question. But here's what Janas Answer said, and I'm just going to read it verbatim. As someone who is from the medical field, I do believe that everything roots from science, and I think that the greatest gift that we have in this generation is the sophisticated technical installations that we have. And so there is science in the phase out of fossil fuels. But one thing that we can also agree on is we can always live the zero waste and sustainable lifestyle. I've always been practicing it because sustainability will always ensure the stability in our future. And if we can master the transferability skills from a just phase out, then we will have a greener and more sustainable future. And while that is a lengthy answer, it uses a lot of big words, and I'll do a video on the other three that answer the question, but she came closest to answering the question, I believe. And so again, when I say it's a tough question, it is a tough question because the things that she says, it is rather interesting, especially when you begin to talk about the phase out of fossil fuels. Without fossil fuels, and I don't really want to get into all the scientific stuff because we can get into this big debate about whether it's possible or whether it's true or but that's a kind of a fun debate to have. But for just this little 30-second blurb, that was a very tough question. So, when we begin, and she says, master the transferability skills from a just phase out, all of that is going to can come under some scrutiny. But again, she really does try to throw a lot of science terms in there. And so I have to give her credit. She did come closest, I think, to answering it. I'll take a look at her against the other three when I do the Q&A, my Q&A video. Now, here is during Miss Supranational 2023, here's Pauline Answer's question. It says, what makes a good brand ambassador? And as you can see, this is more about an opinion. But let's see how she answers it. And this is what she says. She says, it would be dedication. Dedication to this journey. Dedication to the people who've brought her up to this journey, and dedication, of course, with the organization that she'll end up working with. This is such a beautiful experience, and she has to be someone who can bring people together, someone who knows that this is not a one-woman journey. We all have our differences, but we also realize that we have so much in common, and we are now gathered here on this stage, transcending our own borders, bringing nations together. And so when you look at her answer, I absolutely love this particular answer because she phrased it in such a way, it's not a one-woman journey. And then she also makes this statement that we all have our differences, but we have so much more in common. That idea of unity among man, or unity among humanity. And so I do like that. So if you ask me, I don't think the questions are equal because but I would have to give the edge to Pauline Answer just simply because of the way that she answered her question. And so that idea of bringing people together, the idea of, she said this is dedication, dedication to the course. And then she also brought in the organization. And so while it was easier for her to do, I like the way that she phrased her answer. So we can get caught up in the technical answers. In that, I'm going back to Janas Answer. We can get caught up with all of the big words, but I think it's just difficult. And so, but again, who can carry that mantle from Michelle Dee? It is going to be difficult. But I'm going to have to give the edge to Pauline Answer. And it will be interesting to see who can do that. If you disagree, hopefully you do disagree, and you can kind of tell me what you think. If you agree, I would love to hear what you think about that. So, you guys, let me know what you think. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's just my opinion. All right? So you guys, y'all take care. Peace out.